In Ukraine, we have seen a multi-access attack over the course of the last week or so, last few days. We believe there is no change in Russia's unlawful, violent and aggressive intent in Ukraine. Their attacks are behind schedule, but we should not assume any change in their intent or their purposes in Ukraine. The economic, diplomatic and defence response has been far stronger than anticipated, and particularly, I believe, by the Russian government. And it is having a very serious impact on their progress. I want to commend all of those countries around the world that have joined those responses. I particularly welcome the rather strong responses we've seen from countries like Singapore and Switzerland. I mean, this, I think, goes to the extent of the international response to these outrageous and aggressive attacks undertaken, invasion undertaken by the Russian government. And every day that resistance continues, every day that we impose a cost on the Russian government and all those who support them in their unlawful acts, makes it even harder for Russia to continue to pursue their objectives in Ukraine. But this is also likely to lead, I suspect, to an even more violent response from Russia. Anyone who thinks the Russian government is just going to sit there, I think, doesn't understand the intent and the outrageous objectives of President Putin. Our goal is to impose the most significant costs on Russia that we possibly can on the Russian government and all those who support them, as a clear warning to anyone else who would seek to engage in such unlawful acts of aggression and violence through an invasion of that nature. So today, to further increase the support we're providing to Ukraine and to our NATO, to the NATO and all the members of NATO, we will be answering the call from President Zelensky. President Zelensky said, "Don't give me a ride, give me ammunition." And that's exactly what the Australian government has agreed to do. We will be committing $50 million to support both lethal and non-lethal defensive support for Ukraine. The overwhelming majority of that, that's some 70 million Australian dollars, will be in the lethal category. We're talking missiles, we're talking ammunition, we're talking supporting them in their defence of their own homeland in Ukraine. And we'll be doing that in partnership with NATO. I'm not going to go into the specifics of that because I don't plan to give the Russian government a heads up about what's coming their way, but I can assure them it's coming your way. In addition to that, we will be acting to provide humanitarian support, an initial contribution of some $25 million. We're providing in humanitarian support, that's some $35 million Australian, to international organisations to support their efforts with shelter, food, medical care, water and education support. This will be our opening contribution. We expect that over time there will be further requests and we'll be addressing those as time goes on and the needs that are there are better understood.